Okay, thank you. And I spoke this morning about the process of divination, which to me describes the key process that I would work with and do work with and suggest people to work with psychedelic experience and other altered states, especially expanded states of consciousness. And I talked how divination to the past always involves healing, or healing. If you do want to understand healing, you always have to get the story, of how you arrived at the place where you feel that there's a problem. And I want to focus a little bit on the other side, divination to the future. And in the shamanic traditions, divination to the future, looking into the future and the past, is exactly equal. They don't make a difference. And this is another difference, a distinction. It's considered a natural function, a capability. And I've come to think of that as a psychologist as a thing. I think the function of awareness can go into the past, the future, or the hidden present equally. Why? Because when you go into an altered state, you go beyond the framework of space and time. That's what it means to be in an altered state, you see. At the other dimensions or worlds, time and space work differently. We know this from dreams, because in a dream, you can dream that you're visiting your beloved grandmother, and she lives 1,000 miles away, and it doesn't take you any time to get there. You don't have to go on an airplane and spend hours. You just feel your love, and there she is. It's based on emotional closeness, not physical closeness or distance. So, and we know this. This is not psychedelics. This is dreams. And that's the role of the altered state. The divination to the past and the future. You can also look into the past and future with your ordinary mind. We call it analysis, and we do it forecasting and scenarios and probability forecasting. We have those ordinary mental ways and sciences of doing that. And then, but the shamans go into a state where they can have access to other knowledge that's not so bound to time and space, which is very useful. So I would formulate the relationship between these in this way. As remembering is to the past, so is visioning to the future, and awareness to the present. I actually use the image of the Roman deity Janus, who has two faces pointing in opposite direction, as the totemic symbol or emblem of that process, because the two faces look into the future and the past. So, as remembering is to the past, wie das Erinnern uns mit der Vergangenheit verbindet, so verbindet uns das Visionieren mit der Zukunft. Und das Gewahren ist ein deutsches Wort, das ist so ähnlich wie aware, becoming aware. Das ist ein älteres Wort, das wissen wir nicht mehr. Aber wahrnehmen, gewahren. So, shamanic journeys go to all three of them. And now psychologists, I was trained as a psychologist and psychotherapist, they work with the past all the time. You go to a psychotherapist, when did you first start feeling that way about your father or your mother, like that? And then you work with that story. They don't look into the future because they have the assumption, they don't work with the future because they have the assumption that you can't predict the future. And this is based on a misconception. Okay, so, and the misconception is that you can't, it's a confusion between visioning and prediction. So I would say the principle is this: the future, the one difference between the future and the past is that the past is determined, and it happened the way it happened. Now, and you can't change that. You can, however, change the way you look at it and the way you feel about it, and that can be very helpful. And in fact, that's the basis of psychotherapy, is to change the way you look at and think of the story of your past. And however, the future is different. It's all probability lines. So you can think of the past is behind us. Energetically, the past is behind us or below. Memories well up. The unconscious below. But it's the path we've come, and the future is forward and ahead, up. And what's ahead? What's coming up? And I'm moving towards it. But it's probability lines. Until it actually happens, then it becomes a certainty. So the basic principle is that visioning visioning, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, what it is not predicting. Or if German you would say, voraussehen ist nicht voraussagen. Also, und das ist einfach eine